Hi, welcome back to this week's painting log. Make a start. So, up this week, so far the week's finished, so I managed a grand total of 6. You'll see this guy in a second. Not too much, but I'll explain that in a minute or two. So, a couple of 3D prints, a couple of Games Workshop bits and pieces. Started off the week with a Vivictus Executioner, quick and fun. I picked him out just because he was a bit of fun. He's based on a Spanish Easter parade outfit. And he kind of gave me a bit of motivation to build a few of these guys. So he is going to be very shortly joined by 5 North Star cultists in the same outfit for Frostgrave. In the red and white. They're just assembled, they're not based. They're not going in the same type of base as him because of the puddles. I'm just going to dirt them. And then add a random knoll on a sprue as well that was given, so I built him up with a spear. Looking forward to those. Those will be nice and fun and something a bit different than the usual fantasy and bits and pieces I've been doing recently. Following on from him was General Targ on foot. I did start his mounted version as well, but I needed to do gap filling that I hadn't noticed, and by the time I got back to it, so there's him. And I'd started, as you can see, that paint was not properly applied. By the time I got back or started on the foot or the mounted version, it was too late in the week to even get anything other than filled. So that needs a bit of cleaning and sanding and just adjusting. As much as I like plastic minis, I didn't have much fun painting him. Too much small detail. But he's done now. He's probably never going to see the battlefield, considering I've had no games of Middle-earth this year. Which is disappointing. No games of hardly anything this year. Disappointing. Up next is a Trench Crusade, some weird nun, printed and given to me. It's topless. I'm not a massive fan of semi-nude minis, not for any purity reasons or any this and that. I'm not a massive fan. So she's maybe some sort of blood-crazed warrior, splattered in blood, as if she's just been killing. Dead skeleton on the bottom, just because he was lying around my desk at the time. Up next was a Vivictus mini in the line of Vivictus, just a quick orange, brass and white colour trial for fun, really. Hours work, easy enough, no great need or use. Stargrave if I feel so inclined. Then the final 25mm miniature that was painted this week was one of the Necromunda Zeitgeists, with the grey stuffed or the filled in mask. I think that mask looks quite decent. I think it suits it better than the empty face, in my opinion. Once again, just tabletop standard, and he'll be used in Stargrave because I don't play Necromunda. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but what have I also been working on this week? Miniatures of Madness Barbarian. Throwing a bit of paint on her when I had a bit of paint on my palette still. Primed up the backdrop variant as well, but it's sitting somewhere else outside, I think, in the shed. The vast majority of time this week has been painting this guy here, the Marshcrawler Strogoth or Slogoth or one of those things. It's not for me, it's for somebody else. Now I need to touch in the teeth, and I need to varnish, and I need to apply static grass, but that'll be done in 10-20 minutes time after recording, so it will be done this week. I built and painted this model close to the box art. I'm not a fan of this model. As you can see, I painted it in sub-assemblies, but the way it's done is a nightmare to get into certain areas. Unless you nearly paint on sprue, you see getting between the shoulders is a disaster. It's a fun enough model to build, it's straightforward enough, it's really quick, and it has a good bit of character, but whoever cut it for molding needs cut themselves, or at least should be made to sit down and build and paint one from beginning to end, because I have a feeling that whoever designed it for manufacture has not built one, or did not build a prototype. But that's just me being grumpy. Rather than the big sticky pointy grabbers, the nets were added. It's not for me, I should add it's for somebody else. So they'd asked for the nets rather than the spiky grabby things. But just as a side note, these Reaper paints, so I'm starting to really enjoy these Fanatic paints. Are they my go-to? No. But are they something I will be looking at a bit further in trialing other ones? Yes. So that's the fresh rust effect. I like it. I tend to water it down a bit, and I'm going to get the old rust as well, just to try and get it sorted. For skins, I am really enjoying these three. They're the rose skin tones. I'm going to pick up the other three in this triad because I tend to like them. From everything that's just started with Barbarian Flesh, so it is. So let's get Barbarian Flesh as a start. I tend to start with Barbarian Flesh. I think Moonstone's maybe a bit too rosy, a bit too dark. But for the likes of this drum, where I wanted a good bit of contrast to make it look as if the skin was worn, why is that not? I started with it and then worked down. I tend to use it in correlation with Reikland Flesh Shade, so I think it works. But that's just a bit of rambling for myself. So as a catch up, that leaves me having painted 137 miniatures this year and reducing my pile of shame by 151 because I have sold some. And yeah, I am about 30% of the way through my clearance, and we are a quarter of the way through the year. So I am quite happy. Obviously, motivation's taking a hit, and bigger models take more time. My airbrush hasn't worked in a few years, and I'm half tempted to start getting it up again. But we'll see. Not sure what this week will bring. Obviously, those 5 cultists and the Noel and this guy on foot. Perhaps this Sailor Moon styled tiefling, and then we'll try and finish off the Miniatures of Madness Barbarian. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please just do the usual stuff to help, and if you've any comments, stick them down below. Bye.